Hello guys and girls, it is Kostif here and I am joined with Colton,
Actually, yes, he is.
who is,
Hello.
well, a great start there. um, right, so the stream, it is the, God, I'm trying to get my head around it now. It is the Grand Tree, sort of like the updating the Grand Tree, because it was part of the backstory in Falls. But then I am going to swap over to Pictoris, the hunting areas in the fishing colony, which is north of that. Uh, there we go. Right, so I'm waiting for the toolset to load up. So, backstory and Falls. So, this is sort of like a, you could say a lesson if you'd want. I'm not actually going to be sort of like building the Grand Tree because the Grand Tree's already built. To sort of to make all the actual flaws and the details on the Grand Tree. I'm not quite sure anybody would want to watch me put down a gnome-sized chairs and tables on a tree.
It's very
Um,
boring.
exactly what Colton said. It's something what I need to do off camera, but I'm going to show you what exactly I meant when I was always talking about this on the previous streams of having the area in the area but not having it there, if that makes any sense at all. So backstory in Falls is quite um, a large performance area because there's a lot of stuff going on. So it takes a while to load up, but I'm going to wait for it to load up. And so, as I was just saying, so after this is sort of like done, I'm going to swap over to the, I'm just going to call it the hunting grounds to the west.
Because its name is ridiculous.
Yes, Piss. Oh god, I forgot his name already. Piscatoris. Although I'm probably pronouncing that terribly wrong, that is just how it seems to be called. um, Jesus, area's taking quite a long time to load. Um, but Colton, do you want to sort of like, well, discuss the topics? Because I'd say lore is mostly, I'd say you worry or like work more onto the lore than me. So do you want to sort of like
Yeah.
jump into it?
Yeah, we'll be discussing lore about Artie, Falador, the White Knights and the Black Knights, Al Kharid, Menaphos, and Crandor. So those are the topics of lore today. I'm not really sure what we're going to talk about specifically, but sort of like they're starting and um, you know
Yeah.
how stuff works, what's going on now, things like that. The
Right.
stuff.
So before I interrupt you there, this is the backstory in Falls. I've hidden the trees so you can obviously see what's going on. To sort of like quick jog the memory, you got the waterfalls here. You got the fishing guild. You got the Ardoin farms. You got the training camp, and then you have this massive area here, which is the Grand Tree and the Tree Gnome Stronghold. But so if I show you one more area is the I forget its name, Aradan or Aradinor, something like that. The It's the sort of like entrance to the Elven lands, all the way to the south over here. So yeah, um,
Arendar.
that's it. I believe it is. So right. So what was on about on these streams earlier? If anybody's sort of like watched them, um, this area is obviously the backstory in Falls. So having sort of like the Tree Gnome Stronghold, why would the Falls be sort of like a better name to sort of like distinctive the lands? Why not call it like the Tree Gnome Stronghold? But so Colton, if I say to you, I am in the area Tree Gnome Stronghold, you would assume I'm actually by like the gnomes and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I could actually be somewhere like north of Ardy or right by the fishing guild. So it's going to be sort of like really confusing. And um, to get the tree gnome stronghold, because you got the tree houses on the trees. Let me show you the trees. So let me zoom right in. So as you can see, there's like tree houses like here. which are like mixed in with the trees, and obviously you can like climb up on them. But that's very complex to do, which I won't go into detail because Neverwinter Nights 2, it's a game unlike RuneScape. Um, you can't walk underneath something which is walkable. So let's say this, for example. So let's say the top half is walkable. I can't walk underneath, which seems very logical because, you know, it's flat grass and why not? I'm not exactly hitting my head, but that's just how it is. Once something is walkable, anything underneath it is non-walkable because it's just blocks it. But anyways, on to the sort of like the good stuff. So I'm gonna try to explain this the best I can. So I'm gonna put on my surface mesh. So the surface mesh is pretty much shows what's walkable and what's not. So if I show you, over here by the mountain area, so logically I wouldn't be able to walk up that mountain because it's really steep. So if I put on my oh god, that's a very horrible example because it's outside the actual mesh. Okay, let's show this mountain, not mountain, this like hilly area here. So obviously I wouldn't be able to sort of like walk up this mountain or hill because it's extremely steep. So if I show you the surface mesh, you can see it's not got the sort of like the mesh on it. So this area here is like walkable, and you can see like the green lines, but here is the black lines. So this means anything which is sort of like has the black lines is non-walkable. So if I show you the grand tree, as you can see, it actually cuts about 20% of the tree gnome stronghold off, which is obviously bad. Because as you can actually see here, it's cutting half of the tree gnome, the gnome ball course. So yeah, so instead of sort of like, I don't know, for any random reason saying like, oh, you can't access this half of the grand tree gnome stronghold, so don't bother. I'm having to actually sort of like make 2 grand trees, which I'll show you now. So if I go on my walk mesh, obviously I'm trying to block off the tree gnome stronghold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on my terrain and non-walk, and I'm just going to sort of like paint a terrain around the I'm not going to try get it precise, maybe just a tad bit, but I'm just going to go right around the fences. I believe these fences are actual placeables, not what are they? Change them to that. Oh, okay, that is bad, I believe. Oh, yeah, I know what's going on now. These fences are stacked, so I need to pretty much just make the non-walkable area across the entire sort of like fencing area. So this means somebody can't access the tree gnome stronghold while in the backstoring falls area. So to actually get inside, they would just come to this gate here, open the gate, and then it will sort of like transport them into another area which has the fully built tree gnome stronghold. I keep wanting to call it the Grand Tree, but its actual name is the Tree Gnome Stronghold. To be honest, I think I'm just going to call it the Grand Tree because it's a lot easier to say. So I'm actually, this is the final bit here, just cutting this off.
Those are a part of the tree itself too, so.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you are technically right.
Yeah, but just easier to say Grand Tree. Right, so now I'm just going to sort of like zoom right out and paint the entire non-walkable
That looks
area.
really messy.
Oh yeah, you can see here the mesh gets really messy with like especially like mountains and the terrain where it's like really hilly and rocky. Especially as you can see, it's like the water is flat. So Neverwinter Nights 2, it isn't that far advanced. So like, oh, there's water here, so you can't walk underneath it. So you'd find in nearly every single area with water, we need to manually make it non-walkable because there was a glitch a while ago. Colton, I'm not quite sure it was you. It was in Port Sarim. It might have been the first time you
Yes,
logged
yep.
on.
Yeah.
You walked like right underneath the entire sea.
Yeah, that was funny.
Right, so as you can see now, we've got like this perfect shape of the Grand Tree. I'm gonna ignore all this mesh here. Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna fix it off camera. But for now, the Grand Tree is completely cut off from the backstory and falls. I'm gonna save this now, and I'm gonna wait for it to save, of course, and then I'm gonna close it, and it will save again, just to sort of like safety measures. Hopefully this will work without baking it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the area. And this means hopefully it should be very simple, because the Grand Tree is in the backstory in full, so I need to get the Grand Tree in another area. So you probably, well, hopefully you're not thinking I'd have to build it again. So literally all I'm doing is replicating the area. So I'm going to just change this area to the Tree Gnome Stronghold. So if I open this now, you will see it being 100%. You know, there's nothing missing, and there's no errors or random, I don't know, black holes in the floor. Everything is exactly the same as the previous area. If you watched my Relica tour, it was uploaded yesterday. You notice I said something along halfway in the video that the map on the area in Relica, it would say that it's actually North Kandarin. So this is a very simple error, but it's something I'm aware of, but it's not something which needs to be done straight away. It's because I've been duplicating all these areas, and it's kept the first name of North Kandarin because to make backstory in Falls, I copied North Kandarin. I changed its like location and size of the area, so that's why you can see like the fishing guild. So I didn't rebuild the fishing guild over again. I literally just duplicated the area and then changed its size, which I will show you now. And trimming the Tree Gnome Stronghold, I'll also be doing that. So I'll be losing content sort of like outside the area. So trying to think. So I won't need the fishing guild on the outskirts. I won't need sort of like some of the backstory in Falls, because these areas are non-viewable from the Tree Gnome Stronghold, so they aren't going to be there. I'm literally just waiting for this area to load. There we go. So if I zoom right out now, hopefully the mesh is there. Yes, the mesh is there. As you can see, it is 100% the exact same. So now what I have to do is I need to get pretty much just the Tree Gnome Stronghold into one area. So as I was just saying, I don't need all this bits sort of like to this the east. I don't need like to the south. I just need enough of the area to sort of like have the content. So if I go on my grid, and I'll put my occlusion grid on as well, so you can see the red line. So this is the sort of like the full area, the red line now. So I need to trim this down, and I'm going to cut off. I'll just show you the bottom half first because it's very simple. So the max area size can be is 32 times 32. It just means there's like 32 tiles in the area. Over massive like square tiles, I mean. So I'm going to just trim it down on the south, and I'm going to wait for this to load. So Colton, it's sort of like in between these loading times, the first law. So let's talk about RD. RD is relatively close. So would you say we were actually discussing this yesterday? So before we jump into sort of the areas, so the project, it's set in the year 20 of the 5th age. Now the difference here is that in RuneScape, before the 6th age, RuneScape was set in the 5th age, year 196, maybe. I'm actually going to Google that right now. I believe it was that. Although I swear I saw something different.
It's 169.
Oh, 100. That was the other one I was thinking. It's I noticed that the other day. I was like, wait, didn't I make a video ages ago saying RuneScape's in 196? So I think the case is I got the two last digits mixed around. But anyways, so RuneScape's set in 169, right?
Yep.
And as is year 20. So what we've done is we've stripped out every single event which has happened between that 149 years, which is a lot of stuff. So that's just sort of the basics on the lore, which I thought we needed to cover first. So, Ardoing, do you want to talk about that or me?
We can both talk about it. I just want to say, in year 98 of the Fifth Age, it was made the capital.
Yeah.
So that's not for another 80 some years.
Oh yeah. So the very basics of RD. Obviously, because we've changed our lore, we need to sort of like read a lot of the lore, and we don't want to be saying one thing and then it's never happened in RuneScape. So we need to sort of like research our lore very well and clearly. So there's not actual any lore on RD. Well, there is, but the time frame we're looking at, there is literally no lore at all.
It's very vague.
Oh,
yeah.
Definitely. An example would be the only lore which starts on RD is, well, there's a lore like it's saying like the areas around RD used to be like just towns and villages. Like RD was close enough the first the first area for citizens to join Gielinor through the World Gate, which Guthix opened, and like the first time Guthix came to Gielinor, well, not the first time, but like Guthix pretty much just sort of like escorted people over to Gielinor, and that was like the first time people came to Gielinor, and it was close to Ardy, so I'm sure it's obviously Ardy wasn't like called Ardy then. It was just like, I don't know, random towns and cities. Not cities, just like villages and all that, and farms. So, with that being said, there's literally no lore on at all about Ardy before year 98, which I don't want to talk about just yet.
There's a little bit. In year 7 of the Fifth Age, it says a tribe of Ceridom was led by the Carnelian family.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so they killed all of the Zamorakians inside of the city in 5E7.
Murder. Well, not murder,
but
like,
that's pretty much the only thing that happened.
Yeah. That's not a lot of lore going off on. It's like we have nothing to build from that really. It's like I'm trying to think. So let's say Varrock, for example. Varrock says like the time frame what we're looking at. It says like who was the owner, like who was king, like what happened in the year and all that stuff. In RD, there's no news on anything at all, to be honest. So what we've sort of had to go off on is sort of like we had to sort of go custom maybe.
It's not even called Ardoin yet.
Oh yeah.
Which is really strange.
It's
so.
I believe actually I know I read it was River here. You can see in the project right now. It is God, I forget its full name. It begins with a D. But Ardoing was pretty much just named after the river which flowed through it. I think yeah, RD did exist, I believe, like the entire place. It did exist I'd say in the year 20. I'm just reading them from lore. Yeah, they named it in year 7. They named it Ardoing in year 7. The Sanradomus settlement is created, expanding rapidly, becoming Kandarin's greatest city. So maybe, because it's year 7, so it's 13 years after Kandarin's sort of like, the settlements being made of Kandrin, maybe Ardoing wouldn't be so high and mighty. Because in my opinion, Ardoing is like, it seems like a rich place, you know, you got the marketplace, you got like the mansion in the middle, you know, you got it's very, very clean and posh looking, if you compare it
Lots
to
of
other areas.
rich, old families and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah.
So maybe we would maybe Ardoing West wouldn't even exist yet. Because this is only 13 years after they've sort of like made the area.
All those structures are wood too, so I don't think it does. I mean, we could tweet Jagex and ask them, but
You did that the other day, right?
yeah, and they haven't responded yet, so I'm still waiting.
Yeah, that's Jagex for you. So I imagine I'd say we don't have a lot to go off. You know, we got the great battle. The battle was pretty much there was Zamrokians in RD. It was like a mixed city at that point, I'd say. You know, Zamrokians was despised, but they were sort of like still living in the city, and they were sort of like harshly teasing the citizens. On the law, it says they were turning children invisible, and they were poisoning the water supply. So obviously that's some really
pretty
serious goings on then, and I would say that of a great battle. Sorry, I was talking about great battle. The Salvadomists, sort of like you could say, they got really pissed off and they went to war against. Well, not war, but they had a
just
battle.
slaughtered all the Zamorakians, and
Yeah.
it's like, what the fuck, guys?
And then after the battle, there was a king. Well, there was a survivor from the battle, and he king. Right. I'm ever so sorry about that, guys.
No, you're not. Don't lie.
Trust no, seriously, I am sorry. My router can disconnect once every day, and yeah, it chose to do it then. Normally it does it like randomly at night about 2 a.m. But I'm sorry about that. So try to get back on point.
We were talking about rainbows.
Like you said, Corin, though, when I was editing this area, all the placeables and all that stuff flew across the map, which I've never seen before. It caught me off guard. Right, so before we talk about carrying on with the lore, um, I was just finishing editing the sort of like the areas on the map. So as you can see now, let me show you the surface mesh. Maybe nope, that's going to be completely wrong. There we go. Right, so as you can see, this red box and like white box is the entire what you call it? It's the entire ground tree area now, of a tree gnome stronghold. So as you can see, we don't have any fishing guilds now. We don't have we don't have the sort of dwarf area where the dwarf camp was, Glariel's tomb statue, the RD farms, and we don't have the Aridinor entrance.
There's a big beach over there, north.
Oh, some reason when editing moving areas, it can delete the water, so I'll do that now. It's a simple fix. I just need to paint it down. Actually, I'm going to delete all these. Like I was saying, everything like flew over. So what happens is every placeable, I don't know, special effects, which was on the area, it doesn't get deleted. It pushes it over. So I need to delete all this stuff which is being pushed over, which is quite a large amount of stuff. So there we go. Do not crash. I do not like that freeze. Okay, there we go. I was just deleting a holy crap ton of areas, not areas, ton of placeables. So, well, I'm just gonna fix that wall in case somebody ever does look that far out. There we go. So I remember correctly that the area had 6,000, about 6 to 7,000. So if I go on these statistics now, it's 4.5k. So I've lost 1.5k areas, which is good because that's 1.5k areas I do not need. So what I'd have to actually do now is sort of like, I'm not going to do it on this stream or any stream because it's very boring and tedious. All I'd do is sort of like make sure all these objects here, so like the training camp, while in the Tree Gnome Stronghold area, you cannot access the training camp, and like these, you know, the bridge, best house, the buildings up here. So I'm gonna make them an environmental object, which pretty much strips them from all their sort of like stats. So it's like the house isn't in the game, but it is in appearance. So it's just for show, really. So so that's literally all I'd have to do, and this is the Tree Gnome Stronghold. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna fix this place over here. Re-dragging over is so long and loud, especially with my mouse. So the water here. So that I just need to change it. So Colton with Ardy.
Yeah.
How would you? In our in our lore, our game, there's going to be no king. So how would you work that sort of situation out?
Well, it seems like there's a council of the ruling families. I guess they're probably also very religious because after that, in year 7, the head priest of Guthix is appointed king.
Yeah.
So they're probably Guthix worshippers. Are there any
I wouldn't say.
Sorry?
I wouldn't say they are Guthix. On the lore, it said the city is mostly Saradomis, but it's got Zamorakians in it as well.
But it's strange how they made a Guthix priest
I would say
other king.
I would say it's to keep the peace, in my opinion, because of it's. I would assume the
Keep the peace.
are only sort of like fighting because there's like Saradomis around them. So like, hey, instead of sort of like making a Saradomis the leader or the Zamorakian the leader, because there's always going to be one side who's going to be sort of like hateful, why not choose somebody in the middle, which is Guthix? So obviously somebody of the Guthix religion, which is the guy they chose to be.
But is that how they think? I would think they would want a Saradomin
if
leader or king.
if they chose a Saradomin leader, then the Zamorakians would not rest and sort of like create another battle.
I thought
Because
they murdered all of them though.
yeah, well, there was only 2 survivors to my knowledge, so
So why would they need to have a mutual leader?
be- to sort of like stop it in future. It's like
What are they going to do? Breed?
well, obviously, if you see RD now, it's like filled with people in it. You know, it's got the
Oh yeah.
Hazel cult underneath, which is filled with Zamorakians. In it even had a Majorat.
Maybe
Like
they
locked
moved
away.
in.
But I would just say it's
They're
um
they're relatively pissed off.
yeah, you could say that, but I would still assume that it's just the fact of they want somebody neutral in their sort of like area.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not quite sure why I closed the Trinome Stronghold. I need to edit something on it quick. So you say this council, so obviously there's no king in the moment, so um, what would you say the atmosphere in Ardy is? I would say, well, just from my experience in RuneScape's Ardoing, Ardy is very
Empty.
prestigious. You got these like knights and paladins and heroes walking around. Um, you know, you got like the marketplace, which I know in RuneScape's like, oh, you know, there's like a stall which sells cakes and bread. That's really newbie. But if we talk about like, if we're talking about if RD was in real life, it's got this like marketplace. It's got like a zoo, for God's sake. It's got these mansions. It's a very high, wealthy area. So that's just my experience. So now in our project, I wouldn't say it's as big and wealthy. It doesn't have a king, so I would say it isn't really governed as well. How would you sort of like describe the atmosphere? You're tasked for building Ardy, of course, so how are you going to sort of like build the atmosphere around? Would be a better way to explain it.
Well, in 20, there's certainly tension. Um,
Between the two
but
factions.
between the three. But
I would say Guthix is, well, the Guthix faction is sort of like mixed in with it. I, w-
um,
I, I don't know if there's any lore on the Guthix involved with. I know there was a leader, of course, but anyways, carry on. Sorry.
all right. So it's year 20, and like you said, in year 7, they added a king. So he probably hasn't had a lot of time to rule. So maybe they're trying to get stuff in order. So the city is probably very chaotic-ish. I'm not exactly sure because I've never played it in year 20. So
yeah, of course. That's where the sort of like the custom and the custom bit comes in, and we need to use our brains to sort of like
yeah,
get the idea of how.
I'd
the custom-
expect there'd be a lot of construction and stuff because
That would be cool to see.
yeah, like there is in a Falador because they're adding on
Oh
the
yeah.
the east wall. I think it is.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure.
they're building it. It's a cool little feature.
Yeah. West Ardone. God damn it. Um, did we say we added that yet, or is that something that is not there?
Well, this is the areas I'm building now are like the backstory and falls of Trinome Stronghold. You can see like the destroyed RD West, but that's a placeholder, I'd say. I didn't want to. I might just. Yeah, I'm actually. What I'm going to do is just delete these destroyed houses because we don't know what to put there yet. So Ardoing was officially established and like named Ardoing in year 7 of the 5th age, and we're doing it in year 20. So let's just say it's a small town in year 7, and it says on the law that they're growing. So in 13 years, how much do you see them growing, if you could say? Like, let's just focus East RD at the moment. If I'd say in 13 years, they wouldn't have time to sort of like build the entire West RD. So maybe West RD is just like flat grass and forests.
Yeah,
But maybe
we could
there's
do
like
that.
we can add like a cave in that like forest, which leads to the underground pass. Because I would so love to have the underground pass in the game. That is just one screwed up like dungeon and cave.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think that's probably the best option.
would you build
Um,
the zoo? Question.
would I or have I? I have not
Would you?
yet, but yeah, sure.
Because the zoo is very ran. I don't know why there is a zoo. Is it not?
It's the only zoo in game, right?
Yeah, but it has no official meaning. Excluding the quests, it has no meaning. So let's say we were just talking about. So it was established in year 7, right? And they're growing their quotes community. Would you think they would build a zoo in 13 years?
No,
Um,
no.
I'd say the zoo wouldn't have any real purpose, but this is honestly just my opinion.
Yeah. If you look at the zoo in game, it looks fairly new, and those are, I think it's made out of iron and stone, right?
Oh,
So
it's got like the iron fences in
yeah,
stone
and they
flooring.
look pretty new and stuff. Not saying they wouldn't have replaced it in 160 years, but I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
come on. Yeah, a zoo would probably be their last thing that they need after they just kicked out most of the Zamorags.
Putting it that
Let's
way.
build a zoo.
Yeah, it's very random planning. Like, hey, let's build this community. I know, let's build a zoo for I don't know, God knows reason.
We
Um,
buy a zoo, that movie.
um, I think the only point of a zoo is like the penguin hunting, the getting the monkey from the zoo, part of a patrol. And then there's like the penguin storyline where you dress as a penguin, but I can't see that happening in Molior RS anytime soon.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
little bit too complex.
I assume, well, I'm just guessing we could sort of like add small, there's just like a small custom zoo, or just make some sort of like caged area where, there's some, say if we got to a point where we're building like a patrol, how are we gonna find this monkey in a cage? Maybe just like build some, I don't know, random small, I don't know, camp, and there's like caged monkeys. I know, it's just
That
thinking
seems a
outside the
bit
box.
unreasonable.
Yeah.
I think we should keep it how it is, like a copy of year 169.
So,
But
add the zoo.
yeah, add everything there, and they'll be in the process of constructing um, West
Yeah,
Ardoin. So yeah,
that
so
would
that'll be easy enough.
that'll be cool. Seeing like you've seen all these buildings getting constructed. There's like cranes and I don't know crates and carts and wagons everywhere, and you see this like forest which is slowly getting cut down, which would be fun.
Yeah, and like we said, each every couple patch notes and stuff, we can change
Oh,
landscapes, cities, and stuff like that.
that's exactly
So
what I was about to say.
eventually, we can make stuff look like year 160 or one. I guess we want to stop around 146, right? Because when is the let's see, what's a big event that we could end up on?
Crandor maybe, with the whole ordeal with like Alvar destroying like Rimington, and Crandor, because we have Crandor as like one massive city, which we'll be discussing like later on.
Yeah. So that'd be 145. No, that's is it 145? I forget. It's been so long.
I would assume so. It was definitely something 40. It was either year 40 or like 140, around
Yeah.
that.
It gets relatively confusing
Oh yeah.
after we have so much stuff for like 2 people to focus on.
Yeah, we got to think like who's leader of this place, who's leader of that place, and it gets so confusing. So toolset wise, I am currently editing the landscape on the Tree Gnome Stronghold. I will explain why in just a second, but it's so I can get the sort of like the replica area onto the Piscatoris, but sort of like training grounds. If that makes sense, hopefully it does. But I will hopefully get to that point in the live stream. If not, then you'll have to wait for another time. But I'm just detailing the outskirts, so it's not like random flat grass. And yeah, so the next lore topic is
Falador.
Falador, the White Knights and the Black Knights. So, what's the ordeal here with the 2 factions?
All right. So currently in year 20, the White Knights and the Black Knights, they have a truce, but tensions are rising, and soon after they'll start kind of having skirmishes and stuff. But that's not for another few years. In year 161, damn it, I am so lost right now. So many goddamn years. Well,
It can get very confusing.
yeah. In year 174, I think, is when the Black Knights lay siege to Falador, and that's when the king dies, or no, he becomes sick, and the White Knights kind of take his position.
By force.
Yeah, pretty much, and they fight all the Black Knights, and then shit goes down. But in year 20, we're gonna have a quest series, a fairly large one,
Yeah.
where you can join the White Knights or the Black Knights and see where the story leads you.
I'd say the one trouble about RuneScape, which is obvious, it's obvious, you gotta cater for everybody, but then sometimes you just gotta sort of like, not, no, I don't know, trying to think of a word for it, suck it up and not cater for everybody. So, example would be, let's say I am a true follower of Saradomin, and Jagex released this Grandmaster quest called the I don't know, actually no, that's not a good example because it actually did something that let's say I'm a true follower of Zamrock and I want to do the Death of Chivalry quest, which is aiding Saradomin. And obviously I want to do that quest because of rewards, as some bonus XP, there's some other stuff I can get from it, and I just want to do that quest for the rewards. But I'm a follower of Zamrock. So why should I be helping him? I was gonna say the trying to think of it, there's a most recent Zamrock quest, the master plan, stealing like the Stone of Jazz and all that stuff. I forget the exact name, but you're helping Zamrock, but they actually made it so you can sort of like, if you're not a follower of Zamrock and you're doing the quest, you can say stuff like, I despise you, but I'm gonna help you anyway for some reason, and you can choose to sort of like deceive Zamrock by sort of like prolonging his plans and all that stuff.
This reminds me, I need to add all the other gods for the alignment thing, like Zeros, Bandos, shit like that.
I'd say we're only sort of like focusing on free to play on like the main server at the moment. So I'd say when like pay to play comes out on like
Yeah,
a
we can add all
playable,
those later on.
yeah.
I don't think those other than Sarah, Zami, and Guthix, they're not in the free-to-play lands
Oh no,
spots of worship. I don't
they
think.
have like no influence. I was actually checking the map earlier. There's like 2 spots in the desert for Zaros. You know, the pyramid and the bandit camp.
All right.
The Elven lands is Seren, the Trollheim, and the Uglug, whatever you want to call it, lands, which is south of Yanil. That is Bandos. Armadil, there is no Armadil area.
All right.
Yeah.
So back to what we won't be able to cater for everyone. There will just be some quests that you can't do because you're either a bad guy, good guy, or whatever.
Yeah, pretty much what we were just saying. So like, let's say the generic story, like this goes like way back in like I don't know 2005. As far as I can remember, the Black Knight's Fortress quest has been out. I think Jagex removed it and replaced it with the Death of the Chivalry quest. But the old version of it, you would join the White Knights and try to destroy the Black Knight's plan of doing something with a potion. I can't remember the exact the exact plan they had, but yeah, you join the White Knights. So let's say if I was a Zamorakian and why am I sort of helping the White Knights and sort of like destroying the plans of what I'd call my leaders. So in our project, like Colton said, the White Knights and Black Knights are on a truce. So let's say I'm a Zamorakian. I don't want to join the White Knights. I want to sort of like kill the White Knights. So I'm going to go over to the Black Knights camp and I'm going to do their quest. So it's like Colin said again. It's going to be sort of like a storyline driven thing. So you're probably thinking, oh, if I join the Black Knights, I'm going to be missing out on all the quests the White Knights offer. But I'd say they're going to be sort of like the same but different. You don't want it to be the exact same. You want to be sort of like unique. Let's say the White Knights. You're a novice. You're a noob in the White Knight ranks. You're going to be sort of like I don't know, aiding people. Protecting cities. No, let's say you get ordered to patrol around, Falador. Whereas if you join the Black Knights, and let's say you're a recruit rank and you're a noob, pretty much in the ranking, you could be ordered to, loot Draenor village or try and burn down somebody's house. It's very novice, but they are going to be sort of like the same-ish. If that makes sense.
Yep.
And for the toolset, for any viewer, you probably see me doing literally nothing. I just despise making any terrain detail the same, so I'm not going to sort of like prolong me doing nothing in the toolset now. I'm literally just going to try and customize this random terrain here to literally anything.
That's cool.
Oh god, it is just so annoying to sort of like get the exact same terrain look. But yeah, this place is just hilly, so it's going to make it hilly, really. I'm going to flatten this bit here.
Alright, lore. I guess we're on the next topic.
Yeah.
Alcurid and Menaphos. Alright, so there's currently, they're about to start a civil war type thing, but there's really high tensions and stuff.
Yeah.
The Sultan is the current leader of Alcurid. I don't know much about Menaphos. I guess that's your area of expertise.
Right, so, we have the Menethos, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna probably call it Menethos. It sounds easier to say.
Yeah, I'll look up how it's actually pronounced.
Yeah. So you got the Menethos, which is in their sort of like their. I call them the North Korea of RuneScape because they've gone independent. They've
Essentially, yes.
blocked every sort of like trading route. Apparently, they've closed off their ports, so they've blocked trading with the Eastern lands. So, like North Korea, they can pretty much survive on their own, which in reality, obviously, apparently they're not doing so well because they're sort of like they've blocked off all trade and they have to produce everything.
They're in a goddamn desert. It's fucking hot there, and there's one goddamn river.
Yeah.
It's probably salty too because it is connected to the ocean. So who the fuck knows?
Exactly. So, to my knowledge, they want control over Al-Qarid, and Al-Qarid's like, no, we don't want you to sort of like control us. That's to my knowledge, of course.
Yeah, Dad.
Literally just that pretty much sums it up. So, Menethos, I believe, have been trying to attack Al-Qarid. I know in the sort of like the final battle, there's like this massive battle. I think it was named after something because there was just so much blood. So like there was so much bloodshed on the sort of like the battle, and it was named after. It wasn't just called like a battle. It was named something. There was this massive war. So at the moment, they're on. I wouldn't say a truce, but a peace treaty, which is sort of like the same.
Yeah.
But they're going to be really tense, because this treaty isn't going to last for long. So you're going to be, I know, when we finally sort of like update the law in our areas, and you go in Al-Qarid, it's going to be really, really tense. You're not just going to walk in with open arms, and people saying, hey, come trade with me. The guards are probably going to come up to you and sort of like question you, because you're an outsider. You're not going to be sort of like an Al-Qarid person.
Yeah.
And assuming you're not an Al-Qarid person, they're just going to be very, very suspicious.
There's not a lot of room for us to actually open up of the city.
Oh yeah.
Because it says it's like, no people may step foot in here. There's also a plague by, I think it's pronounced Amos Guts. She is the goddess of destruction. So yeah, she's been plaguing Menethos. I think that starts after the 4th age, but we should try and build the city and add some quests and stuff there. Because sea trade,
Menethos, right?
Yeah. Sea trade isn't stopped until let's see, what year is that? It says the late 5th age, but so there is trade. So maybe you could sneak aboard a ship in sailing and then sail there.
Yeah.
Don't know.
That would be cool to see. You get like a special permit, but it'll give you a reason. So it would be really, really, really cool to open like Menethos and actually, like we've done with Crandall, build like an entire new city just from the very basics of lore given to us.
Yeah.
Especially with Crandall, all we knew is like Adventure Island, pretty much. There wasn't much lore given to us. Well, available to us, available to us. So we had to make a lot of it up, which obviously we tried to keep very lore friendly. But then, you got places like Menethos, which is like this, like I've said, the North Korea of RuneScape. So it'd be really cool to sort of like build. We could make it very sort of like the rich are sort of like looking down on the sort of like the poor. There's like there's a lot.
I think there's a lot of slavery there as well.
Oh yeah, that would be a very a touchy
slavery skill. Level 75 to plantations.
I'm not saying slavery is funny, but that is just a weird concept in RuneScape. You know, RuneScape's always I don't know, people always see RuneScape as like a kid game, and then you see us we're trying to add slavery into it. It's a very
It's like,
it's very dark, if you could say.
yeah, I guess I'm trying to make it more realistic and
Oh yeah,
comparable to real life issues like racism, sexism, stuff like that. Which we won't add other races for until multiplayer's out.
oh
But
yeah.
that'll be interesting. Because players will be able to choose dwarves and perhaps elves later on. But yeah, I think which city is it that bans specific races from entering? Is it Varrock that won't let elves come in?
Um, not quite sure. I've never heard of that before.
I remember reading a post bag from the hedge where it said elves were banned from whichever city.
I am.
That was years and years ago. I don't feel like looking for that specific one.
Oh god, you would not find that at all. I would imagine. I don't know. I would
Maybe it's
imagine.
Falador because
Yeah, I was
Sarah
gonna say.
Dillman is like he's like, oh no, fuck everybody else. We're humans.
Pretty much.
That was probably it. It was probably Falador. Okay, so I guess we kind of talked about those.
Yeah.
There's not really much to talk about there.
Literally just Alcrid's all tense stuff and
Trade.
opening up Menethos, which should be a cool sort of like
Yeah.
subject on its own.
That'll be basically completely custom, just like Crandor, but and with a Crandor, there's a reasonable amount of lore that we could go off of.
Yeah.
On that, which is our next topic. Ooh, segue.
Yay, Crandor. I'd say we've mentioned Crandor quite a lot, but
Yeah,
oh, looks like I am lagging. Maybe.
I saw that. All right. In year 20, it's sort of the trade. I want to say it's a trade capital because that's how it's put out.
Yeah.
But because all trade kind of flows through Crandor, and there's rich people, and there's a council, right, and a duke.
Oh yeah.
Or
no, we've made a lord of Crandor.
lord. That's it. I forget his name. It's been like a year and a
oh,
half.
It begins with a T. I use a name generator. It's like
I remember that.
it's like I honestly could not remember his name.
We'll have to go open it up and figure that out.
It's a very, very odd name.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's weird because I think Crandor is the only place that in RuneScape is smaller than what we've actually built.
Oh yeah.
Because
in RuneScape, it's like this
it's really tiny.
tiny ditch island. It has no room. Literally, it only has like room for about I'd say 3 buildings, pretty much. Literally just 3 buildings.
Yeah, and the ship in this picture, I'll link it in the chat. But you can maybe fit like 5 of those on there, and in ours, it has like 20 ships around it.
Yeah, we've got this like
ports and stuff.
But surprisingly, so this goes sort of like way back when I made Crandor, like the destroyed version of Crandor. So this goes like way back to then, and that is Crandor was we built trying to think of the name, dwarf. Not dwarf, Dragon Slayer. There we go, I finally got to it. So we built Dragon Slayer, and I built the destroyed version of Crandor. And at these times, I wasn't really sort of like as we do now for like pay-to-play areas. the areas wasn't on a one-to-one scale, so Crandor was relatively built just by looking in RuneScape and guesstimating like what's going to be where, you could say.
Hmm.
And it was
Hello, Elska.
and it was pretty much just the destroyed version. I believe Elska's been a fan for a while, so it's nice to see you
Yeah,
again.
I think so.
Um,
Okay, so yeah, that was over a year and a half ago. That's before I had all the
it was in 2013 to be
updates and
precise.
stuff. Yeah.
So we had I had the destroyed version of Crandor, and it wasn't a one-to-one scale, but it was literally the same looking Crandor as the destroyed one in RuneScape today. And so pretty much like I showed you earlier with this area, the Treenham Stronghold, all I did was you still have some pictures, correct, Colin? Of like the steps. It's
I
on
have
our
a ton of
Facebook.
pictures. Yeah,
If you ever do want to see them, like us on Facebook, you can search
we've
Molior
got
RS.
we've got a crap ton of pictures there.
Yeah,
I'll upload them and I'll link you guys in chat in a few minutes here.
that would be cool. But so let's say we got the destroyed Crandor. Um, the trying to think of the version of it. The ground is sort of dirty. It's destroyed. It's brown, black, and burnt and all that stuff. So all I did was I stripped everything off it. So I deleted all its like NPCs, all its placeables, all its grass. If there was any grass, of course. And look, I was just saying, there's sort of like a picture gallery of sort of like the progress of it. So all I did was I edited the terrain. So I made it all completely sand. I put down like this lush looking grass. I made the water not grey and like not grey, sort of it's dark blue, so it's like a Mediterranean blue now, and all that stuff. It's very nice looking. I'm actually trying to log on RuneScape right now to sort of like get the detail of this area I'm trying to build, but RuneScape appears to be lagging for me, so it's taken me a while. So what I'm going to do is actually colour over this. Oh, I can actually get rid of that. Get rid of the, what do we call it, grid. So I'm actually going to edit the colour of these mountains because it's a dark brownish colouring. So yeah, like I said, you can just check out the gallery. And you can see like the process of me editing the entire sort of like lands, of making it more like making it pretty much like a city, if you could say. And so Crandor, the lore on Crandor, there's literally no lore at all on Crandor. All we know is it was a city, it was one of the top trading cities, and that it was home to wizards and adventurers. So that's all we had to build. So there was sort of like no information on like there was any like ownership, who owned the lands, or who owned the island. Was there any sort of like what religion was on there and all that stuff. So we've literally just had to go on our custom. Until sort of like confirmed, well, hopefully confirmed that there's issues with logging on RuneScape. Yeah, I'm giving up on RuneScape. I'm logging out of it, so everything now will be from my brain, which is very nerve-wracking. So it also says interesting type of channel content. You've been doing this sort of thing for a while, and that is yes, we have been doing this for a while. Sort of like a
About
quick.
4.5 years.
Oh, I'd say about 5 years now. 2010 to 2011, so it's definitely 2011, so it's 4 years, but it might be in 2010, so it's over over 4 to 5 years pretty much. So how it started is, I was working on Neverwinter Nights 1. Um, I don't think I ever heard of Neverwinter Nights 2 just yet. Neverwinter Nights 2 was a random area. Not a random area, what am I on about? My brain is everywhere. So I'm just going on the world map to actually sort of like find an area. Well, find a map of this place. So I started off on Neverwinter Nights 1. I didn't really know. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of D&D. I just liked to be so like I played I played a Lord of the Rings server. I didn't like the main campaign. It was very slow and boring. So I just played a Lord of the Rings server on Neverwinter Nights 1. So after playing that for like I'd say this was in like 2007. I didn't start the project obviously till like 2010, 2011. So I played Neverwinter Nights 1 for like 3 years, and I learned there was a tool set. Obviously, I never noticed that to begin with because how did these servers sort of like make the servers? And obviously that was due to the fact that there was a tool set you could use, and I started making my own sort of like areas, very newbie areas. It was just, I know, I was like a very young person. I'd say about 14, and I like just making my own stuff pretty much. And I got to like, I know it was about 2010, I could say, and I was getting slightly bored and like, you know, there was no real purpose. And you know, I was an avid player of RuneScape still. I still play RuneScape like every day, and I was like, it just randomly clicked in my head, or snapped in my head, whatever you want to pronounce it. I was like, why don't I rebuild RuneScape in Neverwinter Nights 1? You know, I like RuneScape and I like Neverwinter Nights 1, so why not combine them both? Now, I only imagined me just creating like one area, and I was in this clan at the time, and I was like really friendly and talkative in the clan, in all that stuff. So I was talking to them, and I showed them my picture of Lumbridge. I just rebuilt Lumbridge in Neverwinter Nights 1. You know, it looked very poor. You can see if you go on our channel, you can go like right to the bottom of like the videos, the oldest releases, and you can see like my tours of like Lumbridge and all that stuff. And so this clan who I showed the picture to, they were like, hey, that's really amazing, how about building Lumbridge Swamp? So you know, I built Lumbridge Swamp, showed it them, they enjoyed it, and then there was like a random few people like asking for more and more, and for me to build the entire world. I had a friend who wanted me to build the entire world, and I haven't spoken to her in, well, since then, like about 5 years ago. Pardon me, my mouth is drying up so bad, so I got some water with me. So I was working on Neverwinter Nights 1, and I was, you know, building these areas, and then again, it snapped in my brain to like, no, why don't I sort of like create the entire world in Neverwinter Nights 1? It's possible, so why not do it? And I got to like, I got to Varrock. Varrock was half built. I got to Draenor Village. I got to Port Sarim. So it was Port Sarim. Well, if you sort of like look on the world map, you imagine like drawing line. So it was Port Sarim to Varrock to Lumbridge Swamp. So everything between that area. So Wizard's Tower, Draenor, road going to north of Varrock, I believe. I don't remember seeing that area. I don't think I built it. But yeah. So I had like very few areas, and that was it. So it got to a point where I was sort of building. I'd say I got like 40% of free to play done. You know, I spent a good few months on it. I started uploading content because I had like, I don't know, 50 subscribers, and that was really fun to see, you know, 50 subscribers. And I was like, holy jeez, I got 50 subs, I'm gonna be freaking famous. Maybe not that attitude. But around that sort of like that sort of like behaviour, you know, it was nice to just have fans. I was just talking to people on like a daily basis. They were like really keen to see like my progress, and um, I'm gonna really need to log on RuneScape because this map I'm looking at is absolutely terrible.
You're gonna get hacked.
um, Hopefully RuneScape works so I can actually see what I'm building, because I do want it to look the same, of course. So I'm not gonna let this little instant sort of like ruin an area. So as I was saying, I got like 40% of the 40% of the free to play lands done. So I found out I had Neverwinter Nights 2 on my Steam library, and it was part of a bundle. So my brother bought it. We shared the same Steam accounts, and he brought this like Steam bundle, and apparently Neverwinter Nights 2 Platinum was within it. So he didn't know it, I didn't know it, and so I saw it on my library once. I was like, holy crap, there's a number 2 version of this. So I did some research on it, and the game at its time, it looked freaking amazing. Reddit says, RuneScaping connectivity issues. Yeah, I've logged on to the lobby, and I'm trying to log in game now. I think I've logged in game, maybe. I'm just gonna leave it hanging. But anyways, I went on Neverwinter Nights 2, and the interface was confusing as hell. Let's just say it was so confusing, I did not know how to place down a tree. Yes, Colson, hello. So I was like, yeah, screw this, this is really hard. I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm gonna sort of like, I don't know, go back onto Neverwinter Nights 1. And as time passed, I was realizing, like, you know, it was about 2010, 2011, and I was like, you know, Neverwinter Nights 1, it's getting very old. You know, the game came out in like 1995, I believe, so it was getting extremely old. And I was like, you know, how long am I going to be able to sort of like keep people entertained with this sort of content? You know, you know, I'm rebuilding RuneScape for A, but you know, why would people want to sort of like be in a RuneScape version, which is like downgraded combat, downgraded graphics, of course, and all that stuff? So I searched a ton and ton and ton of tutorial videos on YouTube for Neverwinter Nights 2, and I finally got the sort of like the grasp of sort of like how to work with Neverwinter Nights 2. And it was, I'd say, a pain to begin with because it was a lot more harder to do. You had to put like every single detail down. Lumbridge actually took me a very long time to build. You can probably still see some content. This terrain here is getting very bugged, and I think it's because of the area. So no, it's not. I need to get rid of. Actually, I need to redo this bit here. God damn it! I'm gonna have to redo this bit here because oh god, what's going on here? Which terrain is it? Okay, it's this one. So, okay, so no cliff. So I was in the same clan, and I was showing them my progress, and they were like, "Holy crap! You know, this is freaking amazing." And you know, my 50 subs started to slowly go upwards. Yeah, thank you, Colin, for linking the old Neverwinter Nights 2 RuneScape in the chat.
Yep.
So it was sort of like a breaking point, I would say, because you know it was 2011. RuneScape wasn't the, you know, uptight, best looking game in 2011. Neverwinter Nights 2 looked better than RuneScape. Combat wise, Neverwinter Nights 2 is sort of like unstable in my opinion. I know that sounds bad, but there's a lot of mods and stuff to sort of like fix it. But I saw it began with like the 50 subs, and I'll show my clan. You know, they want to see more and more and more. You know, I'll show them a lot more of stuff. Just showing them about the progress and sort of like the stuff I'm working on. And I was uploading to YouTube. At that point, you can it's about halfway, like very beginning of my channel. There's like I'd say, trying to think, Lumbridge tours, I believe, and like Restless Ghost quests. And all
Oh, the
that stuff.
Vampire Slayer.
Oh yeah, Vampire Slayer. That was part of Neverwinter Nights 1, I believe. Vampire Slayer. I
Yep.
remember making that quest. Yeah, RuneScape's having problems, so I can't connect onto RuneScape. Great timing. First my router disconnects, and now RuneScape won't load. So I'm probably gonna wrap this podcast. Not podcast. This is not a podcast. This is a build. Probably have to wrap this build up soon. But anyways, I'll sort of finish the story. So I was building like areas like Lumbridge, and it got to a point, I had to, restart all over again from Neverwinter Nights 1, which was a real bummer because I created a lot of items. I randomly created like places like Intrana on Neverwinter Nights 1. I made the Lost City quest, and I even got to a point where I was messing around so much I created like chaotic crossbows and Pernix bodies and all that stuff. It was very funny to see. So on Neverwinter Nights 2, it sort of snapped again. I was, it got to a point where I was building Varrock, and my fans at the time, they kept leaving comments like saying, send a clip to Chris Archie, send a clip to Chris Archie. I was like, no, I don't want to. If people want to find, sort of like, if you want to find the project, or learn about the project, they can come and find me. Maybe that sounded selfish at the time. I was just in the attitude of, I don't want to be begging people to come like my channel, or, subscribe to my channel.
That's sort of the attitude we have right now. It's like, why? I don't really want to have people advertise us, because that's sort of like begging. That's how I feel towards it. But go on.
So this started off at like when I was building Lumbridge and doing like the Lumbridge tours, pretty much. Let me actually show my trees because, yeah, we're good. These 2 trees are a good placeholder because I know exactly where to build. Maybe I've gone a bit too far over with this cliff, but oh well. You can sue me for putting a tree on a cliff. Which I'm not going to delete. There we go. There we go. Oh, there was actually 2 trees in that area.
Jagex might take that to heart.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Ooh. I know what I forgot to do. While moving the areas over, I had my trees hidden. And you probably saw me at the very early of the stream when I was like moving the, or changing the size of the area. What I forgot to do was delete all the trees which have been moved over as well. So as you can see, we've got this massive pile up of trees now, which I'm
that will tank your GPU.
Going to save because I have not saved yet, and that would have been a waste of 1 hour's work. So let's try and cut down all these trees. Imagine, right, all these trees now. Imagine if you cut them all down, including the oak trees, because you can get a random amount of oak logs. So imagine me cutting down all these trees. I wonder how much XP and logs I would have gotten.
99.
99, more like
level 5.
Yeah, I'd say level 50.
50.
Yeah, because there was like like 20 oak trees. The standard trees, there must have been like over 50, and that's like a lot of XP.
Oh.
Knowing me, I'm gonna sort of like after this stream, I'm gonna go do the maths for it. But anyways, that's a get rid of the trees now. Actually, no, I don't need to get rid of the trees yet. But anyways, the story. So the story has to end at some point. So let me continue. I was building, Lumbridge, doing all the tours, and there was just fans and comments going like, "Hey, feature this on Chris Archie." And I was just doing the typical comment saying like, "No, I'm not, I don't want to be sort of like advertising and all that stuff." And it was on my Varrock tour 1.5. I only built like half of Varrock. and that was pretty much it. Somebody wanted me to do a tour again, not a tour. They wanted me to send a clip to Crisachi, but I was like, no, I don't want to sort of like send a a clip into Crisachi. I was watching Crisachi at the time and all that stuff. The community vids and all that stuff, and it got to a point where more people commented. Were like, you could say it started to turn hostile. They were like begging me to send in a clip. So the first person asked, I was like, no, I don't want to send in a clip because I don't want advertising. But then there was like more commenters saying stuff like, hey, you're doing good work here. You really need to sort of like show other people so other people can appreciate your work and get some fans. And then I sort of like whatchamacallit, God, I'm trying to think of a word for it. I gave in, so I just sent a basic, it wasn't the fully updated Varrock.
Sent the Varrock tour 1 or 2.
It was 1.5. In the video, you can view the video now. It's got 11k views on it, which is very, very nice to see. It's like the most popular video because it just got featured. And trying to think. So I just I built Varrock slightly fully when I sent the clip in, but I was like I hadn't done a tour of it, so I didn't want to sort of like show a a unique area to a bunch of people. I'd rather show it to my fans first. So I just sent in the Varrock tour 1.5. I honestly, it was late at night, I'd say, so I went to bed like a few hours after I sent it, and I didn't really think of it anything at the time. I just sent it in. It never worried me, or if it never worried me if it would have got featured. If it didn't, I didn't care, to be honest. I just sent it in. So the following day, because it's Chris Sarchi, he's from America. He normally uploads at like midnight for me, so I don't think I managed to watch his videos at the time. So I logged on morning, and I watched his video. I remember it distinctly because I tend to watch it now and then as a reminder because it was very funny to see. And I was watching the video, and the first clip was like this guy, or somebody died at rock crabs, and some guy looted it in his reaction. And then the next clip was, Chris Archie, he was talking about the next clip while the first clip was going. He was saying along the lines of, some guys built Varrock in another program. And I was like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar, could it be mine? And it showed me running through Varrock, and I was like, holy shit, this is me! And it was very, very, very funny surprise. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just finish watching the video. It put a massive smile on my face, and I didn't think anything of it that detailed, much of it. I saw the video ended, and that was it. I went over to my channel, and sometimes like I just check the subs on my video. I know it sounds really weird, but it was just me at the time. I would check the subs, and my subs went to like 50 to like 100, 350, and that was a massive increase for me. And it was really nice to see because you got 350 people following you. So it was, I checked the video as well, and there was like 250 comments, and I was like, holy crap, that many comments? And it was really funny to see, and all the reactions and all the comments, people replying, and it was really nice to see sort of like, all the feedback I was getting. There was a few people on it which I found funny. They were like, hey, you're using Neverwinter Nights too. This isn't your own work, and why are you saying it's your own work? And I would just reply with, I've never said it's my own work. It's always been Neverwinter Nights too. And
there's a comment. It says Jagex can see you if you make money off of this.
Oh yeah, that
We've
comment.
had so many people say that,
Yeah.
and we've backed it up more than I can even count. So whatever.
I'm just reading through the comments. It did feel like a few people were trying to be maybe just that one person in the crowd who just has to hate it for God knows reason. I don't know, maybe they just hated it in general, but they had to leave a comment like, you know, these aren't your own models, it's not that good, all you're doing is just placing down stuff, but like I just said, I've never claimed it to be anything different. Anyways, I think I've been blabbing on enough. This stream is being great. Unfortunately, I've had to not be doing much stuff at the end. My router disconnecting was like one problem, but obviously it fixed in the end. But I can't build this freaking area because this is all I've got at the moment. Let me put the trees on. This is the Eagle's Peaks, the path. So you go up here, you got the Eagle's Peak, blah blah blah. But I need to detail the areas like here and the north bit. So I don't know what to do because Runescape doesn't work. The world map isn't, you know, I googled Runescape world map. It isn't clear at all, so it is a very annoying to do. So I'm definitely going to be streaming this again, maybe tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, Colton, any comments?
No, not really.
So yeah, I'd say that is the Tree Gnome Stronghold, which you've seen already. The next area, I think what I'm going to do is detail this area off camera, and that means when I next live stream, I can literally just jump into creating the, let me think of its name, Piscatoris hunting area and the fishing colony far north. So yeah, thank you all for watching the stream. It really does mean a lot. I hope you enjoyed watching the stream, of course. Leave any comments on the uploaded version of this, and I'll be sure to answer it. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.